Thank you very much, Jill. Yeah, Ronnie O'Sullivan, dominant in his meetings with Georgiou in the past. You're quite right, 3-0 ahead in the head-to-heads, and by a frame total of 16-3. 2 6-1s and a 4-1 before this. So Georgiou, a distinct second favourite. Another negative for Georgiou, of course, is the way he played in the first match this afternoon. That won't have emboldened him in any way, won't have increased his confidence.
No, you'd expect him to have to play significantly better to compete with the abilities of Ronnie O'Sullivan. Good effort that from Ronnie. Powered it in, managed to find a good gap with the cue ball to return the cue ball to safety. Be interested to see what style of play Michael Georgiou adopts here, whether he'll take the game to Ronnie by playing rather aggressively. That's worked out well. Don't think Ronnie can get past the green to the red to right centre, so he's in a spot of difficulty here. Certainly no return to baulk that I can see, especially with that red near the middle pocket. So I think he may be taking this one on. No, just to contain his safety. No value in the red because he couldn't possibly have got on the colour. We saw you, Ronnie, on your mobile phone there. Commentated on his initial match in this group. I thought the bedcloth was a little slow, but I don't think that now. It seems to be quicker to me, but I don't think the cushions are particularly fast, which isn't a bad thing for the players. It helps you to control the cue ball.
One of the most remarkable things about O'Sullivan is that in 28 years as a professional, I don't think I've ever heard him complain, well, certainly not publicly, about a table. Whether it's fast, slow, whatever, he seems to cope.
Well, you have to, don't you, really? If a table's not playing to your liking, there's nothing you can do about it. Just have to try and cope with the conditions better than your opponent does, I suppose. Wasn't the best safety shot from Michael Georgiou. This red's on into the yellow pocket for Ronnie, but it's got a bit of work to do with the cue balls to get on the colour. It's quite straight.
Well,
just make sure the red brown, of course, is available into the right hand centre pocket, but positionally I don't think it offers a lot for him. Well, he's looking at the yellow, but much more difficult pot. So just rolling in behind it has to be the right shot, I feel.
I don't
think he's got the snooker.
Yes, if you think about it, the roll in behind the ball colours should be quite simple, but on these fast match cloths, especially when the cue ball is close to the ball cushion, to get the white nestled in behind yellow, brown or green requires delicacy. It's a much tougher shot than it looks.
Oh.
What a fluke. Let me quickly tell you, another match is over on table number 2. Rob Milkins and Ian Burns played out a 2-all draw. That after Burns led 2-0. So Milkins now needs to beat Tom Ford in the next match to win the group. A draw for Ford will be sufficient.
A couple of handy little kisses there for Ronnie. It left him in decent position. He'll do his best to get that black into play, I think, as soon as possible. Playing this left-handedly.
Six.
I think this blue's still onto the right corner.
$11. 12.
Oh, what a terrific effort that was from Ronnie. Trying to rebound the cue off the top cushion. Just flick the black away from the red, which he did, but could have just done with catching the black a bit thinner on the right hand side. But he still thinks he can cut this in.
80.
Well, is he on a red to the right centre? If he is, could be in clover because he's just developed the pink. He's just having a look to see if that black will pot, so obviously that red's on.
$24. $30. 31. $37. 38.
He's done this throughout his illustrious career. Like all of the great players, got that ability to turn something into nothing, to transform a half chance into a frame winning one.
45. $46.
There's just nobody better in the game really at deciding what shot to play during the course of a break. Ronnie O'Sullivan never makes the wrong decision, it
51.
seems.
$52.
Don't know about you, Dominic, but he seems today to have the perfect combination of intensity and relaxation. Wanted to avoid that red, but he's okay.
One thing I have noticed in recent years about Ronnie, he seems a little more philosophical when he does suffer a defeat. I think at one time he did.
59.
Well, he's certainly got nothing left to prove. And this frame has fallen by the wayside as far as Michael Georgiou is concerned.
65.
So the frame going for 10 minutes. That means with the amount he was engaged in his first match,
70.
O'Sullivan's won 4 frames in well under an hour.
71. $77. $78.
The obvious stumbling block between O'Sullivan and yet another century is the awkward last red. But he's dropped in pretty nicely behind it. Would have liked another
83.
inch or so on the cue ball though. But stretching over
84.
somewhat, no issue whatsoever. Made that look preposterously easy.
$89. $91.
Chris Wakelin will be pleased to know he can't go past the 119 break that Wakelin made.
94.
Yeah, not in this frame anyway. He's a bit good, this young man.
98. $103.
That's his 38th century this season,
109.
from what is a very restricted, limited schedule. The class of Ronnie O'Sullivan has descended on the Marshall Arena in Milton Keynes today, and boy, is he playing well. 1-0 up on Michael Georgiou. You think there's more to come?
He's got a minute.
Michael Georgiou has an enviable task. He has to try and tame Ronnie O'Sullivan. That's never easy, but the way O'Sullivan's playing today, the task is all the more difficult.
Thank you. The second frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Let me quickly tell you the group decider. Tom Ford against Rob Milkins is underway on the other table. We'll keep you informed about that one. But of course, as always, and quite rightly so, our full attention is on O'Sullivan.
Pretty decent safety shot there from Michael Georgiou, and that's a part of his game that's going to have to be perfect to cause trouble to Ronnie O'Sullivan. Oh, that's just incredible. Do you know, he plays that type of shot with effortless ease, and yet that cue ball must have screwed back about 5 feet. What a pot that was.
It takes a lot to genuinely impress fellow professionals, but that kind of shot most certainly does. Able to continue the previous break with a plant, and another one was there available for him.
Another look at this.
Nine.
Look at the action on that cue ball. The amazing thing, Ronnie's even able to do that on a cloth that may not be all that responsive. Just misjudged the thickness of the cannon to the pack of reds there. That's why the cue ball's has gone into bulk, but the brown's still on here. When you're Michael Georgiou and you're sat in a chair and you're watching Ronnie attempt pot after pot from mid-range like this, you just think, well, surely he's going to have to miss one soon.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 40.
He gets away with it as well. It doesn't help the cause.
No, Ronnie O'Sullivan plus luck equals unbeatable. That's an equation everyone knows. And he's had a little bit of run in this match, of course. Case in point there. Heartbreaking for Georgiou.
I think the red that's next to the cue ball may well pop, but it's quite an awkward angle, and he'll be playing it from probably bulk with the rest. Getting good position may not be too easy either. Oh dear. Because of the proximity of the cue ball to the red there, you have to sort of jab them, and it's a timing shot, and he sort of decelerated. He was almost through the ball before he actually struck the cue ball, so just had no pace on it at all.
When you play that kind of shot on TV, it's embarrassing. Hence the head down. Oh dear, what have I done? What have I done? Blunder central.
Definite half chance here for Michael Georgiou. As Ronnie returns the rest to its rightful position there in that sort of rack. There's a red on here to the right corner. Can stun around the black spot area for a choice of probably green or brown. Oh, super shot.
One.
Actually held the white too well. Green and brown are no good to him, but the blue may be.
6.
This was a super red from Michael Georgiou, and he played the blue well, but unfortunately I believe one red's covering the other here. That may well be end of break, unless he wishes to take on Ridiculous Plant.
Michael Georgiou, 6.
O'Sullivan knew immediately he was going to be in trouble. Well before the cue ball had entered bulk, he anticipated this snooker. But with the reds tightly bunched like that, it wasn't really an issue. Still played delicately and well, but the danger signs weren't there.
Michael Georgiou had been hoping for a touching ball there. The safety shot would have been a simple one, had it been.
With the red going towards the pocket, O'Sullivan needed cover, and he's got it in the form of the yellow, and for one specific ball, the black.
Big problems here for Michael Georgiou. I believe he's snookered on all reds. Be very careful here not to leave something on. Thought he could hit the very thin edge of the red. It could be worth it, because he may be able to just catch it so thinly that he could return the cue ball to bulk. Yeah, well played. Could return the compliment here. Oh. Kissing Brown just ruined it.
Yes, and I think the red will cut. I think he can get past the yellow. Confirmation. He played that with lots of side, but again, could have been a lot worse. I suppose, Dominic, you've been there in the heat of battle. When you're playing O'Sullivan, you're under pressure constantly because you know any mistake could be your last in the frame.
Yeah, very true, Phil, but I think to some degree create your own pressure. It just depends on your mindset going into a match with somebody like Ronnie O'Sullivan. If you go out there to enjoy it and compete. Because at the end of the day, none of these guys are invincible. You will get your chances. And if you take them, you may be able to put enough pressure on people like Ronnie O'Sullivan to cause a few more errors. You just have to do it. You just have to be good enough on the day to take the chances that you're given, and if you're not, you'll probably come off second best, of course.
I can tell you on table 2, Tom Ford has just lost his first frame of the day. Robert Milkins, who needs to win that match to top the group, leads Ford 1-0.
One.
Lovely pot, and how about the position? Almost inch perfect.
I think Michael Georgiou or Fairley could have played that one a bit better, much straighter on this next red.
Eight.
Would have made life a lot easier, but he can still stun up for the blue. There you go, I'm afraid. He'll know as well as we do here that you can't afford to miss those against O'Sullivan.
Yes, he's not showing his true colours, Michael Georgiou. He has made a 147 in professional competition at the Paul Hunter Classic a couple of years ago. Today, though, struggling to put 5 balls together.
One.
If rests could talk, Dominic, just imagine them chatting away. We're being used by Ronnie O'Sullivan today.
Seven. Eight. $15. 60.
Tell you what though, his position is so good that he really needs the rest. As always,
23.
Stephen Hendry cut to the chase.
24.
He's in a different league, this fellow.
He just does everything on instinct. He just knows the right shot to play and when to
31.
play it. Doesn't have to deliberate at all.
32.
And already in a very threatening position here in frame number 2. 31 points to lead already. So just a couple more reds and colours. Just see him home in this second frame.
38.
Didn't like that one though. The white seemed to skid a little on him. Okay, he's got a choice of 2 reds, but not quite as pinpoint with the position as normal. Trying to work out what he needs.
He's forgotten his abacus.
$39. $44.
Out of the habit of working this kind of thing out, clearly.
$45.
Georgiou looking forlorn. This is frame ball.
50. 51. 55. 56.
The ability to switch hands and play so effectively, it's wonderful. There's never been anyone quite like
60.
it.
61.
No, players actually, just for fun when you're young, tend to play the odd game left-handed, and that's how you develop your skill for it. In many instances.
68.
He'd always played the odd shot left-handed in matches, but the first time he did it in a complete match was in the semi-finals of the old Matchroom League. Not too far away from here, actually, in Northamptonshire. He lost the first frame against Peter Ebden, playing conventionally, then went left-handed, breezed through the match,
77.
and then the following day beat Stephen Hendry in the final, not playing left-handed exclusively.
82.
But ever since, he's been quite prepared to play from both sides.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 82 and the frame.
Only 82 this time, adding to the break of 116 in the first frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan in cruise control, leading 2-0.
That's why I can't scan it. See how that goes. Yeah.
One-way traffic. Plain sailing, call it what you will. But the man who's made 15 147 breaks and has earned over £11 million in total career prize money is playing beautifully today. Ronnie O'Sullivan. In his first match, he won 3-0 against Kishan Irani. Runs of 112, 52 and 65. He's picked up that thread in this contest. So far, breaks of 116 and 82. One more frame needed to win. Just to repeat, if O'Sullivan were to win this frame, then it would all be about the last match, which is coming up next for O'Sullivan, and the last match for Chris Wakelin. That will decide who tops the group.
And Chris Wakeling's been playing some pretty good snooker in this group as well, so he could cause Ronnie O'Sullivan a problem or two, should he get the chances, of course. That's a good safety from Ronnie. Tricky cueing. Judged it very well. Difficult to play a safety shot down the right half of the table from where Michael Georgiou is. Would have to hit the end red very thinly. And this way he's just got to watch that loose red near the left hand side cushion. Played it well.
Maybe what?
See, even that's worked out for Ronnie. Caught that all wrong. But the red ricocheted off the top drawer of the middle pocket, back to safety. As it looked as though it would come back to bulk with the cue ball.
Yes, he's had more than his share of good fortune. Rubber the green here and there. It's like a multi-millionaire receiving a donation. Doesn't need it.
That's the difference with Ronnie's safety against the majority of players. Puts you in trouble nearly every time, but this red may be on for Michael Georgiou. Could be a gap back to bulk. Yeah, and he's found it. Well played. And now you always hope for a kiss on a bulk colour just to leave you on something, but
What?
didn't happen.
Yeah. Yellow ball.
Tried to nestle in behind the yellow. Never easy.
Georgiou
He's done it
what?
well. Now if the reds here were still tightly packed, wouldn't be any great shakes for O'Sullivan, but they are a little open. Has to be careful.
Michael Georgiou's turn to receive some good fortune. Caught that red much too thin. And look where it's finished. Could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, that safety shot was a horror show.
Again, Ronnie's trying to force Michael Georgiou to play a safety down this left-hand side of the table where it's heavily congested. Once again, Michael Georgiou's up to it.
Well, he should pot the red. It's all about avoiding the congestion.
Yes, but look at the pressure he's under here with the position of the reds. Should he miss? Oh, he did well there. Oh, and a couple of rather nice kisses as well. From red and pink has left him in good position here. He needs to score something here, Michael Georgiou. Choice of pink or black. Just needs that one good positional shot to his next red, and he should be in business.
Cue Cue ball needs to stop. Oh.
7.
And anywhere but their shot.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but that's just really bad luck to finish there. Really was. Just fractions away from a choice of balls.
Michael Georgiou, 7.
He looks dispirited.
One.
What a cultured shot that was. Before O'Sullivan gets into full flow, let me tell you, it's 1 each on the other table. Rob Milkins was in to lead Tom Ford 2-0, but he missed a very straightforward pink late on in the second frame. And Ford tied it up to equalise.
Five. 6. Eight.
Deserves to be on a red because that yellow was a beautifully punched shot, and there is a gap there, of course. The white will go past the pink.
9.
Now if Ronnie pots this black, I just wonder if the black spot's occupied. Yes, it may have to go behind that red. Referee Ben Williams officiating here. Black belt, I'll have you know, in the field of karate.
Thank you.
Didn't know
16.
that.
Yeah, he's also very proficient in other
17.
forms of martial arts as well.
$22. 23.
Would be very handy for Ronnie should that red just above the black pot into the right corner, but I don't think it does.
29.
I'm just having to concentrate on the
30.
pink for now. Oh, again, he's inch perfect every time. A lovely angle here just to punch this cue ball through. Oh, but as he overhit that, played for the red, I think, to the right of the black and red.
36.
That would have made way for the top red above the black, but does it just go? Well, it did. My goodness.
37.
I'm not sure he played for that.
$43. 44.
This must be rather demoralising for Michael Georgiou. Hasn't done a lot in this match, but he has had the odd chance. I don't think he's going to get another.
51.
After his lengthy layoff, though, just to repeat what I said this afternoon, he hasn't played competitive snooker, O'Sullivan, since the shootout in February. What a reintroduction.
52.
Looks completely at ease.
58.
Formidable.
Indeed so. He just needs this one good red to make the frame safe. Well, virtually safe. He's 50 points ahead, still 59 remaining, so red and colour still required. This is a tricky little red he's faced with here.
The tariff on that shot was so high. To play it with the rest, with the cue ball and red so close together, and the pot itself was intrinsically difficult, that was tremendous. And essentially, although not numerically, essentially that was frame and match ball.
$65.
So just a matter of whether he can conclude the match with a century. Playing well though, Tom, isn't he? Totally relaxed.
72.
Yes, a joy to watch as always.
73.
Look at the side on that. And of course he's now well and truly warmed up
80.
to take on Chris Wakelin in the group decider.
The
break ends at 80. So does the contest. Runs of 116, 82 and 80. Ronnie O'Sullivan, silky and superb. He beats Michael Georgiou 3-0. Now it's the match that matters. We didn't really know what to expect from Ronnie O'Sullivan after 4 months away from the tournament tables. Well, so far he's been exemplary. 3-0 over Kishan Irani, 3-0 over Michael Georgiou, but there's still unfinished business. Because if Chris Wakelin can beat O'Sullivan next time out, Wakelin will win the group and all of the good work from the Rocket will be undone. O'Sullivan, though, only needs a draw in this upcoming match. That will suffice for him to win Group 10. Wakelin currently in second place, then Irani and Georgiou bringing up the rear. As for group number 15, well, the group decider is currently being played. Tom Ford and Robert Milkins are 1 frame each. Ford has only lost 1 frame all day and has been particularly impressive. Ford, 2 wins out of 2, and he hasn't dropped a frame until the match that's ongoing against Milkins.
$64. $8. $1.
There's a spare on mine there.
I haven't got any more before we're working, they're all out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It needs to stay on top of it, so sometimes it don't take it. Even flashes sometimes it don't go.
I was using it without that on the other day and it was better.
Was it?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what's
what's
mine.
yours? Where's mine?
What?
Where's mine?
Put it there.
Oh, cheers.
Ronnie, Chris, who wants to call? Tails? Tails it is. You go back. Ronnie, can we start now? Yeah. Can you put that in the chair and just so people won't see you? Cheers, thanks. Yeah, as long as it's out of the way, it's alright. Are you queuing us, Jim? Are you doing the cues?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Have a good match. Chris, have a good match. We'll just wait for the cue.
Yes, thanks, Jill. All on this one then. O'Sullivan, if he wins 2 frames, will top this group. Chris Wakelin has to beat him. So we're right down to the wire. Chris will be aware of what he needs to do. But as Jill says, he has beaten O'Sullivan before back at the English Open 4 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
Got to be said, though, considering
thank you, the first frame.
not seen him for several months. O'Sullivan's been superb today. A couple of centuries, some big breaks. Spent very little time at the table to win his 2 matches. As I say, he needs 2 frames from this one and he's guaranteed to be back next week.
Foul and a miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
I think it's certainly true when he's not feeling pressure, he can play as well as he ever could. But we saw before snooker stopped, he did feel pressure against Corin Wilson in their Welsh Open semi-final. He beaten there at the shootout as well. He was trying to get into, of course, the Players' Championship, the Tour Championship here on ITV4, and didn't manage it. But the break seems to have done him good, Stuart. He's looked good today.
Yeah. Ronnie looks back at his best. Talking to him early, he said he's only had about 4 or 5 days practice for this.
Match will be interesting because there is something on it now. It's a straight fight for the line in terms of winning the group. Obviously O'Sullivan favourite because he's got 6 points, Wakelin 4, but remember, if he loses he won't be back for the next group.
One.
I think with Chris already beating Ronnie in a ranking event, I think he'll fancy the job. It's a tough task. He'll need 3 of the 4 frames. He's got to iron out all the little misses he did in his last match.
8.
A very daunting task, playing arguably the best player we've ever seen pick up a cue, so
oh, the brown wriggles in.
$30.
Oh, this red seems like a big early shot.
Chris Wakelin. 30.
Credit to Wakelin, he's gone for his shots all day, but at this down to the wire match early stage, that seemed a big shot.
yeah, I think he's literally got to play no miss snooker, and I think the rest just went flying there. Ronnie taking the extended rest out, but yeah, Chris has got to be bang on his game here. Sometimes it don't matter what you do, you just can't beat this man.
1. Just put them on the floor, Ronnie.
I think the whole lot's gone over, as you said.
I know if you want.
Well, he's taken quite a few opponents apart, hasn't he, down the years, and indeed here today, and now the rest stacks at it as well. But Ronnie is doing his duty here, getting them all back on their feet again.
Okay.
All sorted out.
1. Fine.
Yeah, he's looked good. He's looked different, obviously, with that moustache, but Apart from that, it's been Ronnie O'Sullivan rolled really. But we've
So-
already seen in this frame, you know, if you get chances against him, you've got to try and take them.
Yeah, I think against any of the top players, the odd occasion they sort of don't miss, but you do get your chances. And say Chris only makes 13 from his chance, and say
14.
normally against the top players you only do get one chance. If you do get another chance, it's a bonus.
Yeah, before snooker stopped, he'd had, for him,
18.
quiet season. He won the Shanghai Masters, an invitation event, but hadn't won a ranking event. As he gets them open. Just a little awkward here.
Yeah,
25.
A bit too much there.
Ronnie
Yeah, it
O'Sullivan.
made a difference. So the red stays out, and
25.
this is where Chris Wakeling really has to try and take advantage. I mean, the reds are spread. Okay, a couple are on cushions, but you've seen O'Sullivan break down. It could have been frame over another day.
Even though this red's over the pocket, I think Chris has got to give it a bit of attention. I think it's glued to the side rail, so looks like he's taking possible red in the middle, so very, very tough shot.
Yeah, big shot. The red over the pocket. He's waiting. Well, I think in Chris Wakeling's mind he'll expect it to be 1-0 to O'Sullivan here. Just obviously felt it was too thin, the red close to the pocket.
Yeah. That red in the middle is tough at most times, but when you've got Ronnie coming in behind you,
What?
it's you know, if you do miss, it's all over. And Ronnie looks like he's cueing well.
8.
So it was literally 4 or 5 days practice, as he said.
9.
It's great to see him here. You know, he didn't enter the Masters, which is the game's biggest invitation event, and everyone would have thought he would enter this, but he's come here, which I guess shows you that he has missed snooker, wants to have a competitive outing,
16.
put himself through all the quarantine for the last day while waiting the test results.
17.
Wasn't sure about the food, he was allowed to bring his own, but he's played great stuff today, and when he has made mistakes he's not been punished.
$22. 23.
Yeah, you can see on Ronnie's level that
28.
a lot in front of the people in his group today. Not taking nothing away from anyone, but
29.
you can see he's just streets ahead. Just the mannerisms and everything around the table is honour to watch, really.
36.
So as you see, this red becomes frame ball, and it will be, in terms of frames today, played 7-1-7. And it also means, of course, that now Chris Wakeling has to win the last 3. He knew he had to win the match anyway, but he's got to win the last 3 now. If O'Sullivan wins another frame, he's the group winner. We will be seeing him again next week.
44.
Well, 16 from 51 on.
44 on the first frame.
Chris Wakelin is not going to play on, so Ronnie O'Sullivan has comfortably won the opening frame of this crucial match. He needs one more frame, and he is our group champion. Over a minute. Well, as you can see from Ronnie O'Sullivan, he's not had a close shave, and none of the matches have been close either. 2-3 nils. It's now 1-0 here against Chris Wakelin. He needs one more frame,
to break.
and he will be back next week for the next phase. Remember, the 16 individual group winners come back for 4 groups of 4, and then the 4 winners come back for one last group next Thursday to decide the winner of the Championship League. I guess if he does make it through to the next phase, as seems likely now, what will be interesting is what happens if he is put under pressure by some of the other players who made it through, how he responds then. So far today he's had things largely his own way. He's been able to get in and make some terrific breaks, a couple of centuries in amongst them.
What?
But it's Wakelin in first in frame 2. Remember, he's got to win the last 3 frames here to deny O'Sullivan becoming group winner. Well, he's gone full-blooded into them, but it's not really worked out as he would have hoped. Was just hoping to get on a red.
Yeah, all you're trying to do there is hit the top red with power, and obviously screwed off and just got the double kiss on the red and left it on the top, which is a bit unfortunate there. The reds have split up quite nicely.
Meanwhile, Tom Ford is just about to beat Robert Milkins 3-1, which means Ford is the winner of Group 15 because he's won all 3 matches. So 9 points, he's only lost 1 frame. That's very, very impressive from the Leicester man. Tom Ford going through, because he's had 2 maximums this season, and he's going through to the next phase next week.
Very close to that red into the green pocket. The way he played it, I'm sure he ain't left Ronnie much, but Ronnie eyeing up this long red to the yellow pocket. Not really that close for Ronnie there, but I'm sure knowing him, he won't be liking missing shots like that, but it's come out okay. Not sure if it's a possible double for Chris here.
Five. Ronnie O'Sullivan 5.
Normally Ronnie pounces on them sort of chances. Chris was a bit unlucky there. Red cannon in the blue knocking it in.
What?
Good red there from Chris, but didn't really get any colour, so just a safety. Needs to think about this if he can get the white to the top cushion, making it hard for Ronnie.
Chris Wakeling 1.
Yeah, Chris really needed to get that white on the bulk cushion there to make it hard, but Ronnie eyeing up this shot to nothing red.
Yeah, he seemed relaxed all day, hasn't he, O'Sullivan? He obviously made the decision to come in knowing what that would entail, so he prepared himself for that. And it's all been all business on the table as well. He's been doing his little practice as well between matches.
What?
Got to say though, Wakeling has never stopped going for his shots, and that's a terrific pot. But they've got to keep going in.
Yeah, it was a big shot there on that black. No, colliding into the reds.
8.
Well, he's had a break of 119 today, one of 82, so he scored heavily in earlier matches. He'd love another big break here, just to raise the stakes in this match.
Nine. 16.
He's heading to
Chris
that
Wakelin.
jaw. He stayed out.
16.
As I said, they had to keep going in at this stage.
I think we're all surprised by him missing that. It looked dead set. I caught obviously the first red a little bit wrong. And
1.
So in steps most successful break builder of all time, Ronnie O'Sullivan, the only man to have made over 1,000 centuries in competition. He needs, I guess, one more break to ensure he's back next week. All the times over the years he's threatened to retire. I mean, he was very young when he first did it. He was still a teenager. Here he is, flecks of grey in his hair, a moustache, still going strong
9.
in his 45th year. And there are many snooker fans around the world who hope that he continues to for many years to come. There'll be a few players maybe who wish he did retire.
most definitely, Dave.
13.
But to have him in any tournament, there's definitely more
14.
of a buzz around the arena and in the game. Got a great fan base around the world.
$90. 20.
So it's quite astonishing. Turned pro in 1992.
25.
28 years ago? Wow. And he's still
26.
at the top of the game. It's just unbelievable. Nearly 3 decades of entertainment.
33.
Easy on the eye, great to watch, and just a masterful break builder.
34. 41. Touching ball. Actually, it's not touching. 41. $42.
Remember, this is the frame he needs to win the group. Chris Wakelin failed at that plant. He was in.
$47. 48.
You can't manufacture an aura. You either got it or you haven't, and he has it, like all the great champions in any sport. Just something about him.
55.
So 37 in front. And he's the black here.
56.
And Wakelin is going to need a snooker. And if he doesn't get it, it's Ronnie O'Sullivan coming back next week.
$63. 64.
Yeah, he's looked very relaxed today, but also at the same time focused on the job in hand. This is not a tournament you come to for a bit of fun. It's obviously a very strictly controlled environment. It's all business. Again, he's forgotten about the rest, but he's gone to get it. Yeah, it's all business, and that's what he's had on today's business head.
$72.
Chance to make his 3rd century of the day.
$77. $79. $82. $86.
Chris Wakelin has the high break in the group, but that doesn't come into it now.
$97.
So the black then for century number 3 today, just to rubber stamp his qualification for the next phase. Oh, it stays out.
97.
But the frame is the important thing, and Ronnie O'Sullivan leads 2-0, and that means that he is going to win this group no matter what else happens in this match. We'll be seeing Ronnie again next week.
Seconds.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Well, it's ironic really, we started an hour later today because of our racing coverage earlier on, but actually it's all been wrapped up in terms of who the group winners are pretty early. Tom Ford has won Group 15. Ronnie O'Sullivan, regardless now what happens in this match, has won Group 10. Chris Wakelin, though, of course, playing for places. There's different prize money for 2nd, 3rd and 4th, so he will still be looking to try and force the draw here. Georgiou still to play Kishan Ronnie. Stuart Bingham enters the fray tomorrow. You've been with us commentating a few days, Stuart. Do you think you've learned anything sat here that might hold you in good stead?
Well, I haven't missed a ball with this mic in my hand, so I'm sure I'll miss a few tomorrow, but yeah, I've totally enjoyed it.
Well, what about that one from Ronnie, meanwhile? What about this? Brilliant.
Yeah, with the group already wrapped up, you can see he's dangerous at the best of times, but when He's already won and through.
4. 5.
Start seeing a few sort of exhibition shots and
well, you see the pure talent, don't you? I mean, obviously he's worked really hard. That's what people
12.
don't see, the work he puts in. But what an incredible talent he is, and still
30.
determined to continue. This is the opening red again. What about this? Yeah, still determined to continue putting work in. As you say, nearly 30 years as a pro.
20. 21.
Judd Trump, of course, has taken a lot of the limelight this season. He's taken a lot of the trophies. Beat O'Sullivan in the Northern Ireland Open final. That's the only ranking final O'Sullivan's been in all season.
28.
Fascinating to see if they were to end up in the last group together.
29.
1st player that Judd ever saw playing live in the audience at the Welsh Open. He lived in Bristol, he was in Newport, not too far away. His dad took him.
37.
Well, I think this is just a case this round, just sit back and enjoy it.
$44. 45.
That's the thing there with Ronnie. His break building, he gets that white moving through them reds, and for a second I thought he weren't on a red, but he put a great red there in the middle.
$48. 49.
Yeah, it's good to see. He looks very focused. Done the job.
$56. 57.
Bottom line is he wants to be here, no one's forcing him, and the fact that he wants to be here in itself makes him dangerous. We know he's had a bit of a love-hate relationship with the sport, but as long as he's got a cue in his hand, he remains a great force in our sport, a great figure in our sport, and he remains tough to beat.
$63. 64.
Black then, and his snooker's required. Means that Ronnie O'Sullivan has carried his bat through the day, or carried his cue, I should say. 3-0, 3-0, 3-0.
72.
Chris Wakelin had to win this match. He did have a couple of early chances, but once O'Sullivan got ahead, got that chance in the second frame and made the 97, he knew it was all over at 2-0.
75.
The business then, can he make his 3rd century of the day?
$82. 83.
Even on one tiptoe, he still pots balls.
Well, we wish you well tomorrow, Stuart. Thanks for your company, and this is the sort of snooker
89.
we need to start producing.
90.
I'll try, Dave, I'll try. Can't promise nothing.
Well, he's had one attempt to bring the red out there. Here's another.
93.
Cross double. Not to be, but he
Ronnie
ends with
O'Sullivan,
breaks of 97 and 93.
match.
Ronnie O'Sullivan has not lost a frame all day. He emphatically qualifies for the next phase of the Championship League. We'll be seeing him again next week. He's beaten Chris Wakelin in his final match by 3 frames to 0.